mailed in donations. And thank you so much for supporting our youth. For those in the room, you are welcome to help yourselves to more soup, desserts, and coffee at any time during the program. We just ask you to keep the talking to the minimum if we have a presentation going up here. We also have extra bowls for sale at the registration table. At this time, I'd like to invite Jenna Miles from Food Science LLC to the stage to say a few words. This is Food Science's second year in a row being our presenting sponsor, and we're so grateful for their support. Jenna is the Regulatory Affairs Manager and Good Neighbor Committee team member. So let's welcome her to the stage.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jenna Miles, and on behalf of Food Science, the presenting sponsor, I want to thank you all for being here tonight. At Food Science, we help people and pets live healthier lives every day through our passion for producing nutritional supplements. And we are so honored to be sponsoring this event through our Good Neighbor Committee, a company initiative that's dedicated to giving back to the local community. We are so proud to support the difference that Spectrum gives in our local community. So thank you to Spectrum for organizing a wonderful event, and I want to thank you all for being here tonight and for your support, and enjoy the rest of the program.
Thank you so much, Jenna and Food Science. And now it is my pleasure to welcome to the stage Executive Director of Spectrum, Mark Redmond.
Thank you, Tracy. Isn't it good to be back? We're back, right? First time in 3 years. I went to an event this summer and I got home and my wife said, "How was it?" I said, the line to get a drink was too long. By the time you got to drink, it was warm. The hors d'oeuvres were terrible and there weren't enough, and it was great. It was great. Because just a chance to be with people, right, and be in a room and celebrate each other, none of that other stuff really mattered. It was great, and it's great to be here. I want to thank all of you for being here today. I want to thank a couple of our sponsors. The home cook sponsor is from Dealer. Is Jesse Willits and Laura Huggaboom here from Dealer? If you are, can you stand up? We want to thank you. I don't see them, but if we want to thank dealer.com. I know these people are here. The Nourish sponsors are Cummings Electric. Glenn and Ronnie, where are you? Yay, right here. I can call them from my home when my smoke detectors aren't working and they come right over. And PC Construction, I want to thank them for being a Nourish sponsor. We have a lot of other amazing sponsors who are all listed in the program. I want to thank you to anyone who's, if you're a volunteer, can you please stand up and wave or anything like that? Thank the volunteers right there, there. I want to thank our development team by name who put this together. Bridget Everett, Sarah Woodard, Charlotte Stevenson, Christy Holmes. Thank you for putting this on. Any other Spectrum staff like Gina and Hannah, anybody else, please stand up who's a Spectrum staff member. I want to thank them for their work. I know we have some mentors here tonight. I see Jeb Spalding, he's one. Jeb and anybody else who's a mentor, please stand up. We want to thank you for being a mentor to our youth. Kevin, too. Spectrum, we have a great board of directors. If you're a board member, please stand up. These people work really hard to be on our board. Thank you. I want to thank Lisa Cadieux and Roger Semel of Semel Signs for the table decorations. Where's Lisa? And I don't know if Roger's here. I saw Lisa here. Thank you, Lisa. She did the design for my book too. Did a great job. Thanks, Lisa. I want to thank Michelle Langley for managing our kitchen team this year. I don't know if Michelle is here or not, but thank you. And Anybody who did the sleep out last year, anybody who slept out in the cold and the snow, I would like you to stand up so we can thank you. Any sleep? Oh, there we go. Yeah. And the next sleep out is March 23rd, and I heard it's going to be warm that night. I say that every year, though. All right, listen, I heard there's a little girl whose birthday it is today, and her name is Zinnia. Where is Zinnia? Is Zinnia here? I think I see her. Zinnia, why don't you stand up? Let's sing happy birthday to Zinnia. You ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Zinnia. Happy birthday to you. Yay! Okay, we're going to show a brief video now. About 6 years ago, we started a social enterprise, a business called Detail Works, to teach our kids how to work and how to learn a valuable skill. And before I show you the video, this is an email. I got this at 3:42 p.m. All right, listen to this. I am not making this up. Timing couldn't be better. Dear Mark, I had my car detailed yesterday. I had paid it in advance and picked the car up after working hours. They did a great job, capital letters, great job. My miscellaneous belongings were left in a cardboard box on the floor. More importantly, I want you to be aware of the honesty of your workers. Last July, on a trip to Boston, I lost a small wallet. It contained a credit card and 4 $20 bills. Today, while emptying the box of miscellaneous belongings, I found the wallet, the credit card, and the 4 bills. So in other words, the kids discovered his wallet and money and put it right where it belongs. Didn't take it. Isn't that nice? I went to Detail Works this afternoon to thank the workers and try to solve the mystery of where the wallet had been. I arrived after they had left for the day. I told the story to a manager and left a tip with him for your workers. So anyway, it's very sweet to get that. So we started this business about 6 years ago. Mike Lane, Ted Adler, a bunch of others were there as we created this. And I'm going to show you a video. So my wife and I watch the CBS News every night, and it's 28 minutes of really bad stuff, insurrection, Afghanistan, wildfires, floods. And then the last 2 minutes, they have this wonderful story about somebody who's doing something good in the world. And so it took about 500 emails, but I finally got a response from the CBS News, and they sent a crew up from Washington, D.C. to do a whole piece on there. It was the morning show with Gayle King. So we're going to show that. But the star of the show, you're going to see in this video, a young man who is actually probably going to join our board of directors this year, but he's in this video and he's here tonight. So where is Charles? Charles, you here? Right there, my man, Charles Hemingway. You will see Charles up on his screen. Okay, and the IT person, away we go.
Now we're going to turn to a program putting at-risk young people on a path to work and a path to stability. At some point every year, about 3.5 million young adults in this country, that's ages 18 to 25, are homeless. That's more than the entire population of Chicago or Houston. Think about that. We found a business that is stepping up to help by only hiring young people who are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless. Christina Ruffini now shows us how it is giving them a clean start to a promising future in our series, A More Perfect Union.
Connor Copley's job sucks and buffs
I like it. It's a good job.
and at times shines. Why does your side look better than my side?
Probably because I've been working here for 3 months.
Here at Detail Works near Burlington, Vermont, employees work from the inside out, both on the cars and themselves.
Growing up, did you think that you would end up being in a shelter at some point?
No, I had much higher hopes than that.
For the past 2 years, Copley has lived at this shelter run by Spectrum Youth and Family Services. The organization helps at-risk young people like him find jobs. Trouble was, only 40% were able to keep them.
They don't know how to show up at work on time. They don't know how to work as part of a team. They don't know how to dress for work.
You need somebody who wasn't going to assume that these kids were coming in with the knowledge of how to hold down a job.
That's right.
So Executive Director Mark Redmond decided to launch an in-house business to teach participants some of the life skills they might have missed along the way.
We had 26 different ideas.
What were some of the ideas?
Burlington's 50th coffee shop, which we don't really need. Burlington's 15th thrift store, which we don't really need. And somebody mentioned car detailing.
3 years later, Detail Works, led by 2 former corrections officers, is really working.
There are so many jobs you're like, did I really accomplish something today? Here, you know you accomplished something.
The hands-on approach appeals to Josh Moran, who says he struggles with anxiety and depression.
Basically, you wax on and wax
Do
off.
you really actually wax on
Yeah,
this
you
one?
really wax on there.
A year here landed him a higher-paying job at FedEx, but
And I did not like it. It was just too robotic for me. And I have a lot of ADHD. So like just sitting in one spot, taking out the packages, putting them in their cages was just,
so he came back.
they called and they're like, yeah, we really want you back.
86% of the program's participants stay here at least 90 days,
Oh, 84.
and many go on to other jobs.
Before Detail Works and even at Detail Works, I woke up, had a cough, call out. Didn't have a way into work, call out.
Now, Charles Hemingway makes it happen, walking more than a mile each way to the job he's had for 4 years.
Detail Works has taught me everything I know about my work ethic, about communication, about making sure that I take care of myself as well as take care of my job so that, I never wind up in a situation where I'm jobless or homeless again.
He recently donated $250 back to the program to help others, like Connor Copley.
I built up a lot of good work ethic and I'm getting my stuff in order.
Does that make you feel good about yourself?
Very. Gives me hope.
The rest, as they say, is in the detail. For CBS Mornings, I'm Christina Ruffini in Williston, Vermont.
Well, thank
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
for the job you do. When I had a car, you feel good driving around a car.
Nice piece, Christina. Very well done.
All right, so we have a bunch of celebrity soup servers here. I think they're all in the room by now. And we love all our celebrity soup servers, especially my wife, who's one, Mary Beth Redmond. Love her the most. But there's one I really want to talk about, and that is Representative Ann Pugh, who's here tonight. Ann, you in the room, I hope? Where's Ann? Does anybody see Ann? Is she back there serving soup? You'll get her. All right. Now is when I should have sung happy birthday to Zinnia. I'll give you the prequel. So, Ann, yay, you're here. There's Ann Pugh. Ann Pugh has served in the Vermont State Legislature since 1994. I mentioned that year to one of our senior staff last week, and she said, Mark, when do I break it to you? That was the year I was born. So that's a long time, and she's not running for reelection, but she's in there for 28 years. And I met her when I got to Spectrum. I got to Spectrum in 2003. And when the board and the staff interviewed me, they kept talking about, we got to get kids ready by 18, got to get them ready to 18. I finally stopped the interview and I said, what's the big deal about 18? He said, if a youth is in foster care in Vermont on their 18th birthday, they have to leave their foster home. And I said, it's 23 in Connecticut where I'm working. It's 22 in New York where I used to work. My own son is a 17-year-old honor student at a Jesuit high school. And if I said to him on his 18th birthday, happy birthday, here's a cake and a card, now you have to leave, I don't think he would make it. But these are kids who really don't have functioning families to go back to, and maybe a high school diploma, maybe a no job skill. So I said, I hope you hire me for this job, but even if you don't, that needs to change. Well, they did hire me for the job, and I would watch kids turn 18 and become homeless. In fact, we found out that 36% of all Vermont prisoners had been in the foster care system. So we had a foster care to prison pipeline. So I wrote an op-ed in the Free Press thinking that'll change people's minds, but that didn't do anything except get people mad at DCF. So I talked to a lobbyist 2 years later, And she said, you need to go see the Speaker of the House. Only in Vermont can you call the Speaker of the House at her house, which is what I did. So I met with Gay Symington, explained the issue. Yes, Gay. And Gay Symington pulled out this long list of all the legislators. She said, go see this one, go see this one, and this one here. Ann Pugh, she's head of the House Human Services Committee. If you can convince her and get her on board, you're halfway there. So I reached out. I didn't know Ann. I just emailed her blindly. She came in. I showed her Spectrum and talked to her about the issue. And the next legislative session, she held hearings and I testified in the hearings. And we came very close to a bill that time, but it went to the next year. And at the beginning of each session, the governor, and it was Jim Douglas at the time, gives his state of the state address. And I wasn't listening, but my phone was ringing like crazy. And they said, did you hear what the governor said? We're going to have a bill this year that moves the age of foster care from 18 to 22. So Ann held more hearings that session. And when I heard the governor was going to sign the bill, I said, he's going to sign it at Spectrum because nobody did more work than us to get this. But it was Ann Pugh. It was Ann who got that bill. Anybody like Denise and Neil and Kate and anybody who's involved in the legislature, it's so easy to kill a bill. It's so easy to kill legislation, to actually get it through the House, through the Senate, through the administration, and then appropriations. It takes someone who's dogged and who believes it and who sticks with it. And that's what Ann Pugh did. So I would like to show a picture of the bill signing. There's Ann. Ann was the first speaker. And then the next picture is Governor Douglas signing the bill with one of our youth. So that one piece of legislation, has helped hundreds, if not thousands of young people who really are in foster care, and some of them are struggling. 18 now is just another birthday. It's not a time to hit the streets. So, and then this past year, we were the only state in New England not to have what's called an Office of the Child, Youth, and Family Advocate. Every other state in New England has that, and it's a place for young people to go or parents to go if they feel they haven't been treated fairly by the Department of Children and Families. So again, my wife, Mary Beth, she was on Ann's committee then. She helped a lot get that bill, but Ann got that bill passed too. So I just want to thank Ann for 28 years of service to children and families and to the work on those two bills. And I know she's worked on many more. Thank you, Ann. And can you please come up? We would like to give you some chocolate. Okay, one more video we're going to show, and this is of a youth whose name is Revon, who lives up in St. Albans in that area. And we opened up 18 months ago a drop-in center for youth in St. Albans. And Revon goes there. And we just opened up 3 apartments about a month ago for youth in St. Albans who need a place to live. So very proud of the work that we're doing up there. And you'll see Revon's story right now.
All my life, I have always wanted to build stuff. I like to build things. I like construction. I like using my hands for building things. I sort of like writing, but I rather do hands-on to where I can just grab wood and I can cut it and put it, like it's like a puzzle in my head after I made the plan. Just putting the pieces together. Sometimes people can't do that with ADHD. And that's the thing about ADHD is sometimes it's a roadblock. When you have anxiety mixed with ADHD, you get this feeling in you of frustration immediately when you can't figure it out right away. When you don't really want to be a bad person, you want to sit there and help everyone you know. You don't know how to help everyone. You tend to actually observe more than other people do. I deal with that. That's part of ADHD. I deal with sometimes. And which we get deemed as lazy and not want to do anything. My father for 14 years always used anger against my ADHD, yelled at me, threatened me, all that stuff. Yelled at me to sit down just because I couldn't sit down or sit still. It felt like I was always trapped inside. I was not allowed to get a job. I was not allowed to get a permit. I was not allowed to have friends. To live with someone that wouldn't accept my ADHD and would yell at me all the time compromised me having relationships. Made me not know how to be friends with people, made me not know how to be in a relationship romantically. He cared about everyone else's success besides mine. He always sat there and threatened me and said lies to me. I don't get what I did wrong there. I'll always be confused what I did wrong. Drop-in center is a great feeling because I can let my emotions out. I don't have to hide my emotions because I know I have friends that like hugging me. I go to the drop-in center almost every day. It is a great escape for me. At Spectrum, you get to hang out with your friends and have fun. And people who helped me there have helped me out a lot. And going to Spectrum is a very good place to go to because currently I have someone that's dying from leukemia. And the first thing I get said to me when I tell them is, if you ever need a place to go to and relax, come here. And it helps a little bit to know that Spectrum's there to go to the drop-in center. Well, what the support does is help people go and get the food they need. Drop-in center is a very nice place. They're still in development of it. It is a very calm, relaxing place, safe for everyone. And they will make sure people are protected and make sure everything goes right for them. Don't be afraid to be who you are and to say who you are and choose who you are. Don't be afraid to cut off that one person that's pulling you behind, that's grabbing you by the neck and pulling you back. It's nice to sit there and know and feel safe that you have a place to go to that you feel comfortable and open to, and you can be yourself instead of hiding in yourself. That's what the whole drop-in center is about.
So Revon couldn't be here today, but I want to thank Revon for making that video. It takes a lot of courage, right, for a young person to talk about their experience. Thank you, Revon, wherever you are. So I'm going to end with this and then turn it over to Tracy. We have mentors. You met a few of them tonight. They're volunteers who work with youth for at least 1 year. I often tell people, you're not the social worker, you're not the psychologist, you're a stable, reliable presence in a young person's life. And about 10 years ago, we had a gathering of mentors. It was at Shelburne Farms. And it was not just Spectrum mentors, it was mentors from other agencies. And I met a woman and she was mentoring a young girl. I said, tell me about your mentee. And this woman was a businesswoman and she said, she's 13, very difficult family situation. Her dad has his own struggles. Her mom, for whatever reason, keeps getting in brushes with the law, getting arrested. And there's times where the police have come to the home and arrested the mom, and the girls had to witness this. So I asked her, what kind of things do you do together? And she listed all these really cool things she did with the girl. So then this woman says, you know what my mentee said to me recently? I said, no, what'd she say? So my mentee said to me, ever since I've met you, I've become braver. And we continued the conversation, but in the back of my mind, I was thinking, what that woman just said is really important. It's really important. So when the conversation ended, I went to my car. I still remember it was parked in the big fields by Shelburne Farms. There were so many people there. And I always keep a little white pad so I can write stuff down that I don't want to forget. And I wrote down in this pad, ever since I met you, I've become braver. Because that is the very essence of not only what it means to be a mentor, it's the very essence of what Spectrum is in what Spectrum does. We help kids to become braver. That's what we do. We help kids to become brave enough to go back to high school if they've dropped out, or to go back and get their GED. We help kids to be brave enough to maybe go on to college or go on to some trade school where they're going to learn a valuable skill. We help them to be brave enough to go out and apply for a job, which for a lot of these kids takes a lot of courage, or maybe to get a better job than the one that they have. Brave enough to go and get counseling for an eating disorder or a substance abuse disorder, anxiety disorder. It takes a lot of bravery to go for counseling. It really does. Brave enough to resist peer pressure. Brave enough to get out of a relationship that really isn't working for them and maybe is even abusive. Brave enough to do that. We help kids to become brave enough to come out to their family and their friends in the world as LGBTQ, if that is what their orientation is, because that takes bravery. So I just was so moved. Oh, and I emailed, I want to stop. We have a mission statement, we have a strategic plan, and we need all that. That's important. But teaching kids to be brave is the very heart of what Spectrum is. And when you leave here tonight, I want you to know you're part of an organization that is helping young people to become braver in their life. That is the very key to what we do. Finally, knowing I was going to give this speech, I'm still in touch with the mentor, and I said, hey, it's 10 years later. Girl must be grown up by now. Any idea how she's doing? She said she's married, full-time job, home owner, and on Facebook. A true sign of happiness. So I want to thank all of you for coming here and all the people online. There are, I don't know, dozens, right, Sarah, if not scores of people who are watching this virtually. I want to thank them. And I'm so glad we got the empty bowl back and all of you showed up for it. Thank you. And I want to turn it over to Tracy. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Revan. And thank all of you for coming out to Empty Bowl. On your way out, you can buy extra bowls. You can take home leftover soup. You can buy something off the giving board if you haven't already. And I think we may be calling some raffle winners. Will I hand over to you for that? Okay, thank you. So people should hang on for a moment. Is that right, Charlotte? All right. Last call for the giving board, last call for buying an item to donate, and then we're going to do the raffle pull in about 10 minutes. And I think there might be some dessert out there now and coffee and tea if I'm correct.